Hey there folks, and welcome to this video. This is an update to a video that I did earlier this year where I talked about how every single WRC point system stacks up when looking at every single season of the WRC. It created a bunch of new champions. There were some places where it did some really interesting and very weird things. But in addition to that, it allowed us to have a look back at the early season of the WRC before the Drivers' Championship was awarded, and also look at who would be the people who would have the most points and the most titles in WRC history to come up with an idea of who would be WRC's GOAT. It ended up being slightly inconclusive. Basically, it put the two Sebs up at the top again, but people who were the most improved were the likes of Marcus Grönholm, Hannu Mikkola, Carlos Sainz, and surprisingly, Didier Auriol. But since the season has now ended, let's talk about it and let's have a look at how 2024 would have played out, because it's a bit interesting. Now, perhaps unsurprisingly, the 2024 champion Thierry Neuville was the champion by 32 points in the 2024 system over Elfyn Evans, nearly a round in hand. However, if you turn the clock back to the previous point system, the one that existed all the way up to 2023, it becomes a lot tighter of a battle. Now, in reality, it would have been that Neuville would have been champion prior to the rally. I think he would have wrapped it up with a round in hand in theory. He was, at the end of the event, 40 points clear of Wout Tanak. But, yeah, it's a bit strange to think about that there was he would have wrapped it up earlier under last year's point system. We turn the clock back a bit further, we go to 2011, which is when the power stage was awarded 3-2-1 instead of being awarded 5-4-3-2-1. And again, he's champion. Again, Elfyn Evans is second. But Wout Tanak drops to fourth, Ogier is in third, and the winning margin goes down from what would have been 19 points under the 2017 system to 13. And then we get to 2010. And basically, in any point system, before the power stages got brought in, Thierry Neuville's not the champion. In 2010, it's Elfyn Evans by a single point. Now, we could say, well, Wout Tanak probably wouldn't have pushed for the power stage and wouldn't have gone off the road, which would make sense, because then it would have put Neuville as the champion by a handful of points. Tanak in this system was 30 points exactly outside of where Neuville was at the end of the season, so you could go, yeah, he would have backed him up. Ogier would have been third, Evans would have won the title, and then Neuville would have lost out by 1 point, and Tanak would be 6 points behind Ogier. Under the 2003 system, Evans again is champion. This time he is champion by 4 points for Neuville. And Ogier is also again in third, 7 points clear of Wout Tanak. And then it gets weirder. Under the 1997 point system, which was the top 6 getting points, Ogier becomes champion. And he is 1 point clear of Elfyn Evans. And 3 points clear, further, of Thierry Neuville. Wout Tanak would be 10 points off of Ogier's winning margin. Under the 1985 system, which is another top 10 system, Evans would have been champion. 3 points in it between himself and Thierry Neuville. Then it would have been another 18 points between Neuville and Ogier, with Tanak on 114 to Evans' 141 in fourth. Then we have the 79, 78 and 77 systems. These ones were the ones that were your best 6 results counted towards it. Unsurprisingly, again, Seb Ogier would be champion. Across all 3. The guy was super consistent, he made a couple of mistakes, but because he ran so many rallies, he ran most of the season in the end. Just by sheer numbers, he would have been champion. what's even weirder is Neville wouldn't have been vice champion in any of these systems. In the 79-78 systems, the runner-up would have been Elfyn Evans. In the 1977 point system, the runner-up would have been Colour of Impera, but then 77 system awards points for the top 3 only. The best the Neville musters is 3rd in the 78 and 79 systems, tied with Voigt Tanak. And then going back to 77, they're tied for 4th, with Evans getting 3rd. Now, what does that mean for the championship? Well, it means that we can say why it is that Thierry Neuville was champion. He was consistently quick. He got to the end of the events. That's it. That's the main thing that rewarded him. He was consistently quick, which meant that he was able to pick up power stage points when he wasn't able to pick up overall points in the rally. The Sunday points definitely helped him, especially compared to, say, Elfyn Evans. But it didn't just help Thierry. It in some ways helped Voigt Tanak, though Thierry was probably one of the bigger beneficiaries of this change to the rules. Elfyn Evans was consistently there or thereabouts, and when he got to the end was finishing high up the order. That's why you see him as the champion under the 2010 or 2003 system. However, if it was the winner taking the crown and everything biased towards finishing well, if not finishing often, then Ogier ends up with the title. And it's quite a nice, neat little thing to have. Adrien Fourmeau ends up 5th in most systems and then 6th in a couple of the others. Basically, him and Colour of Impera share 5th between them, with the one exception being where Tanak and Neuville share 4th in the 77 system, in which Fourmeau is down to 6th. But what it does tell you there is Fourmeau was consistent, dependable and reliable, and you could say using any of these stats he'd be a deserving 3rd driver for Hyundai next season. But you can also tell where the strengths were for the different drivers who were in the top 4. Ogier, when he was there, was a lot more checkers or wreckers. I mean, we saw crashes in the Acropolis and the CER, which were almost uncharacteristic by Ogier's record. We saw Voigt Tanak being dependable, consistent and fast, but having rotten luck in that middle stint of the season. I mean, look at what happened in Poland, look at what happened in Latvia, look what happened at a test event in Estonia, in his home country. Elfyn Evans was very much a dark horse, but he did what was needed, especially in the late stages of the season, after a subpar start and rotten luck in Finland. Then you have Thierry Neuville. I think that it's strange that you put an asterisk next to it, because he was, in my opinion, the driver of the season. But for him to have potentially lost the title if the power stages and Sunday points weren't awarded doesn't really tell the full story. Because like I said, I reckon if it had have been a title battle, they would have asked Tanak to keep it on the road. And Tanak probably would have run slower over Sunday because he wouldn't have had to push for the Sunday points in the manufacturers like he did in 2024. But yeah. Strange to think, as an update to this video, that Neuville, who, if we'd applied the 79, 78 or 77 systems throughout, would have been the 2017 champion, has this realm in which, if it's whole season and there are no bonus points available, he's not champion. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. You can also have a look in the description section and, yeah, see the video that I originally did, which was released around the midpoint of the season. Thank you so much for watching. I'm hoping to use this again in a couple of different videos in the near future, potentially doing a second edition of this when 2025 rolls around. But until next time, it's, well, bye for now.